Do you know the 3 must-have games of the Heian Period household?
In March, I enjoyed a day in Osaka City touring different places to see Hina doll displays. The Hina doll display is for unmarried girls in the household. Set up on February 3rd and taken down March 3rd, it depicts what a princess needs when she is married to her prince. She needs attendants, minstrels, transportation, a sewing kit, and these things. What are they? Believe it or not, these were a must-have in any high-class bridal registry.
I had no idea about these things, so I went out to find out more information on them. So let me tell you what I found out on these 3 must-have gaming systems of the Heian Period household. Surprisingly, you may already know about 2 of them. Our first must-have game of the traditional Japanese household is Eagle, also known as Go.
The game was brought over to Japan from Tang Dynasty China and was recorded in the 8th century as one of Emperor Shomu's favorite games. You remember Emperor Shomu, right? At that time, the game was called kakego because it included gambling. The game was mostly played in the male aristocracy, but in the Tale of Genji, you can see princesses also playing the game.
So how do you play Go?
It's a strategy game in which you gain territory to get points. A full game board is 19 by 19 squares and includes black and white pieces. Black goes first, so if an inexperienced player plays against a more experienced player, the inexperienced player always gets black. The amount of full empty spaces you capture on the board is the number of points you get. Also, capturing pieces can get you points as well. That's when the game gets really interesting.
The game is still played today, even professionally. There are places where the older generation go to play this game together, but just like everything else, it was affected by the COVID pandemic. I remember when I was an exchange student at Kansai Gaidai University, my dorm manager would often pull out his Go board and he would play with some of the exchange students. I never got it. Our next must-have game of the traditional Japanese household is Bansuguroku.
Backgammon is pretty close to how Bansuguroku was played. Again, the game comes to Japan by the Silk Road via China. The first mention of Bansuguroku in Japan was in the Nihon Shoki, when Emperor Jitto banned it in December 689. However, later in history, our favorite Emperor Shomu had among his personal treasures a rosewood Suguroku board.
He really liked games, didn't he?
The game is also mentioned by Sei Shonagon and Murasaki Shikibu, is the subject of a famous tale about Kino Haseo and the demon of Suzakumon,
More on that in another episode.
and in the tale of the Heike. By the Bakumatsu period, the game Bansuguroku becomes obsolete and has now completely disappeared.
You can't even find the game in Toys R Us Japan or even online. This board here, I had it shipped from America. Do you know how to play Bansuguroku? Okay, take one and throw it. Oh, it's me. So I go first. I am black and you are white.
Just like backgammon, players move black and white pieces around the board using dice. The goal is to remove your pieces off the board first. The pieces are arranged in a battle-like formation, and moving around the board requires some strategy to get around your opponent without getting captured.
For Westerners, the game of backgammon came in a 3-game set along with checkers and chess. When I was a child, I was discouraged from playing backgammon. When I was looking for a set for this video, I kind of realized why that may have been.
Ew, why are the boards so expensive? Maybe you've seen these boxes in a museum and had no idea what they were. I always thought that they were boxes for plates or something like that.
Nope. Those boxes hold our last must-have game of the traditional Japanese household, Kaiawase, or also called Kaiooi.
This is a matching game that appears during the Heian Period, developed in Japan. Clamshells from Ise were collected,
Ise clams are delicious.
and pictures depicting scenes from the Tale of Genji were drawn on them.
Those scenes from the Tale of Genji are pretty well known, and there are lots of versions of them as well. In fact, when I went to the Uji City Genji Monogatari Museum, I picked up this book, which has a version of the Tale of Genji scenes, along with the chapter that the scene comes from.
The sides of the clams were separated into two boxes, one box for dashigai and the other for jigai. The jigai would be placed on the floor in a circle, and the dashigai would be pulled from the box one by one and placed in the middle of the circle. Players would have to match the dashigai with the jigai based on size, pattern, and color of the shell. When you get a correct match, the picture is revealed, and you win that set of clams.
It's so simple a game, and yet it's absolutely addictive. It's definitely the perfect party game for relaxing and having fun with. In fact, the game becomes so popular that it goes out into the general population.
There is even artwork from the Edo period of women enjoying a complex version of the game.
Why clams, you may be asking? Well, traditionally, clams were given to the bride on her wedding to pray for her happiness. And then during the Heian period, women were discouraged from being educated, so this was a fun way for women to find out about the Tale of Genji. With each clam that they opened, they had to be able to recite the scene that was pictured on the clam.
Different ones, and I have to match this one. もしかしてこれでしょうかね。
これです。あった。And there you have it, the 3 must-have games of the Heian Period household. Did you know about any of these games, or that they were a part of the Hina doll display? Well, as I was learning about these games, I realized that, at least for Igo and Bansuguroku, they required quite a bit of strategy that were along the same lines as chess. Sadly, I struggle horribly with those types of games. I guess my brain is just wired differently. Well, join me next time when we go into a little more depth into Bansuguroku. We'll talk about the legend of Kino Haseo and what Suguroku means in Japan today. But that's all I have for today. See you next time.
極度何春でございました。